Hello and welcome to session 3 of the topic of the tithe. I'm author of Tithing, Reviewing Scripture in Context, and this is the third session in discussion in a mini-series about what tithing is in general and what the context of the scripture actually is. Now, in our last session we dealt with Abraham and the tithe, and we discovered through scripture that Abraham did not actually tithe from his own income. It was in the form of spoils of war and war booty from the king of Sodom. Now, although he had, he was a very rich man because he came out of Egypt with plenty of possessions from Pharaoh, but we do not have any evidence that he specifically tithed from that. Now, his son, of course, was Isaac. Isaac was very prosperous, but we have no indication that Isaac tithed, but we do have an account specifically of Jacob when Jacob makes a vow to tithe. Right, so let's put the story of Jacob into context. Jacob is running away from his brother Esau because he's actually committed something called identity fraud. He's managed to get the blessing which can only be given once from Isaac because he pretended to be Esau, and now he's on the run because his brother's really wants to kill him, and his brother's a hunter. So, of course, he doesn't want to mess around with him too much. So, anyway, he's on the run, on the way to Laban's house. And, of course, Laban, as we know, or as you can read later on in Genesis, is an idolater and has household gods and so on and so forth. So, he's not a follower of the specific God of the Hebrews. Now, so Jacob makes a runner, and he has a dream, and after this dream, where he sees angels coming up and down on a ladder, in Genesis 28, 2 to 22, he says the following: "And Jacob vowed a vow, saying, If God will be with me, and will keep me in this way that I go, and will give me bread to eat and raiment to put on, so that I come again to my father's house in peace, then shall the Lord be my God. And this stone which I have set for a pillar shall be God's house, and all that thou shalt give me, I will surely give the 10th unto thee." So the 10th in the form of a tithe. Now, the only thing that Jacob would have known about the tithe is in the form of war spoils. But here's the situation. He says, if God will be with me, then shall the Lord be my God. Now, tithing, if it is an eternal moral principle, and it is effectively, if it is a law laid down by God, then what we have here is a bargaining process. If the tithe was a commandment, then Jacob would not have been taking part in this actual bargaining process. Now, the other question is, if he was to tithe, who would he tithe to? Now, I would like again to open up a good and honest dialogue in the comment section of this video. Who did Jacob tithe to? A little hint, the whole nation of Israel is still in his loins, and of course the 12 tribes of Israel specifically come from him, from the sons that he actually had. Now, we're also aware that later on, when he escapes from Laban with his wives, and he's rather concerned about bumping into Esau because he knows Esau is in the vicinity, effectively he wrestles God at daybreak. And God asks him a really interesting question, and specifically in regard to identity fraud. Who are you? And then Jacob finally answers, I am Jacob. And then only does God bless him and call him Israel. Now, when he wrestles God until daybreak, and he survives and only comes out with an injury to his hip, and he says, I have wrestled God and lived, this is a clear case that he has indeed experienced a Christophany. This isn't typology. He has had a meeting with God. And there's another interesting point to ask here. God blessed him based on his honesty. And did he ask him, can I really bless you? Because as far as I'm concerned, you vowed to tithe, but you did not. That's an interesting question I'd like to leave you with. And if you can also possibly comment on that in the comment section. My name is Carsten Villa. I'm the author of Tithing, Reviewing Scripture in Context. And this is also available where all good books are for sale. Thank you very much. This was session 3, and I look forward to seeing you in session 4. Take care. Thank you. Goodbye.